Hello everybody, happy Friday. Hope you're doing very well, and I've got a little bit of a parcel to open up here. Now this one on the front says it was shipped to me towards the end of February. Now it didn't arrive then, and that's a little bit of a story that I'll explain to you once I've opened it, but it definitely suggests that it's been on order since the beginning of the year, which means it's best we get it open. Once I get this open, I've got one left. That's it. Is that the end of the channel? No, of course not. But I need to get some more shirts. That's what I need to do. But for now, I've got this one. And this is a fanciful one. So I really hope it's going to be good because it's interesting. So, okay then. Big thingy. And, ooh, what's this? Interesting shape, isn't it? And also, if this picks up on the microphone, ooh, it's bubble wrap. Many bubble wrap. So let's keep going. Definitely didn't want this one to get destroyed. Oh my days, come on lads, there we go. So I can have fun with that later on. But what we've got here, we've got a box, but it doesn't look like any of the other boxes up there. It's a strange one. There's a front of it there. Now there is a club crest there. It's not just sort of a stain in the wood, it's actually meant to be there. I reckon some of you would know who that is. Is there anything else? We've got a little bit of detailing on the side, but that's kind of it. Interesting. So I suspect it's probably a little slidey one. Hopefully it's all in there. Is it going to fall out? No, but we have a bit of paper here. Okay then, so it looks like this is the Certificate of Authenticity, which is what it says in the back there. Now it is in French, so if you can read that, very well, but I can't do that. But it is confirming that it's a genuine shirt. It's also confirming who this was played against, and also what number it is, because it's another numbered shirt. Of course it is. It's number 500, and this is 460. So there you go, a little bit of detailing on the front, but the main thing, of course, is the shirt, which is, oh, in fact, we've even got something else. We've got, I can't get it out. Put that down. Well, I don't know why I'm trying to read that. It's in French. It looks like possibly it's the article that the club released when announcing this shirt, I'm guessing, which it says 20th of February. So that gives you an idea. Interesting. But let's look at the shirt. Where is it? There it is. So there's the rear. If you hopefully can pick it up. Very nice. So, what is it? So it's an interesting colour. It's not white. It's an off-white. Vanilla. It's kind of almost similar-ish to the mannequin. Interesting. So we've got some sponsors going on there, and then also on the back, on the neck, you've got something interesting. That'll mean something, I suppose, when I start explaining a little bit about the shirt. It has the tags, which is always a nice thing when you do something like this. And there is the front of the shirt. So it's obviously a continuation of that colour scheme. Got the sponsors, Club Crest again. Who is that? And of course it's Kappa, so it's going to be a good thing. We have the Ligue 1 patch, so gives you an idea if it was in French and we got that. It's probably going to be a French team. And then on this one, we've got another sort of sponsor going on there. This material feels really nice. It's like really silky and smooth. It's made in Portugal. It's 92% polyester, no, 93% polyester, 7% EA. Which I can imagine is elastane. There's a little bit of give to it, a little bit of stretch to it, but it feels premium. Oh, and also at the bottom, don't know if I caught that, but you have again the number, so 460, 500, and I presume it's the signature of the artist behind it. So this is a really nice shirt. It's different, and I explained to you a little bit about it. It definitely will be different. Feels nice, but it should do for the amount of money I've paid. Right here, there is the shirt. It's looking good. I like the shirt. It's interesting. But who's the club? It is FC Metz. Yes, as I suggested in the video on Tuesday, that this might well be the club that I was teasing. So I bought this one directly from the club store, and it cost me 149 euros. So it is the joint most expensive shirt I've ever purchased. It was not a cheap one. Also, it was interesting because when they released this, I say they released it, they didn't actually release the shirt. They said that they were going to be releasing a fourth shirt, but you couldn't see it. You had to buy it before. You were not able to see what it looked like. And of course, with it being limited to 500, and there's more than 500 Metz fans around the world, certainly in France, they sold out, even at the high price and the fact that we couldn't see what it was. Now, I was thinking, it's Kappa, so generally they do good stuff, and it's expensive, so it has to be good. Now, of course, you might be looking at this and thinking, what the hell's that? But I'm pleased. I think it's good, and I'll explain to you a little bit about it. So, made the purchase. They released the image of it online. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily translate into real life, but yeah, it's what I was expecting. So, there was a bit of a story when it comes to shipping of it. So they shipped it end of February, and I'm sort of sat around waiting, and it got to like end of March, and I'm thinking, 4 weeks. It's enough time to get something from France. You know, usually you give it a bit of time, get them to actually pack it, it's going across the channel, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. So I dropped him an email, no response, just whatever, typical. And I thought, well, it's an expensive shirt, this. I can't let this disappear. Luckily, I went onto the club shop, and I was able to create an account. Sometimes I don't do that, I'm just a guest. And you could track orders, and obviously this was one of those. And then at the bottom of that, it said failed delivery. Now, usually you get a thing through the post saying missed delivery, we're going to try again, or go and collect it from a local store, or, you know, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Okay, then. Usually you might get an email or text to say it. Nothing. Okay, then. And then I looked further down, and it said actually delivered to someone in Paris. Well, that's nowhere near where it needs to be. Interesting. So luckily they had like a text box at the bottom, which you could sort of message them about issues with regards to the product or whatever. I goes, look, I've not received this. They came back to me and they goes, yeah, we've got it here. Okay, then they goes, yeah, we tried doing it on like the 7th of March, and apparently you rejected the delivery. I didn't reject anything. I never got anything. So they goes, oh yeah, we'll send it back out again. And I goes, what would have happened if I didn't message them? Was they just going to keep it? So I goes, look, you might want to change the courier or use my details a little bit more. So if it does miss, I've got the information. Anyway, it came across. It did miss, but this time they actually did post something through the letter plate, and then I was able to go and collect it. And obviously, I have it because it's here. So that was a bit of a strange one, a bit of frustration with it being so expensive. If it was like a cheaper shirt, you kind of go, we'll see what happens. But this one, I had to make sure explicitly that it didn't get lost in the in sort of the underworld there. So when it comes to the club, of course, they were founded in 1932 and come from the city of Metz, which is in the northeast of France. Now the club currently plays in Ligue 2, the second division, and I suspect the season's starting very soon, or has already started, depending on when this video is generally released. All seasons are starting soon. And the reason why they're in Ligue 2 is, well, because they got relegated last season. So you can clearly see that they've got the Ligue 1 patch on the sleeve there, so it suggests that they were there. And what's funny about this patch is, you see it's colour coordinated, it's a burgundy. From what I can tell, this is the third time, I think it was, where the league has allowed that to happen. Before that, I presume it's always white. I presume it's a white patch on every single shirt regardless, whereas this one, they've been obviously given some special dispensation, I guess, to allow it to fit in. So that's pretty cool. Not something that you'll see on many French shirts there. They got relegated because they lost in the relegation playoff to Saint-Etienne, of course. So they're back in the top division, and Metz are now in the second tier, so they'll be trying to bounce back up as best they possibly could. I remember when they released this special shirt and it had been expensive, a lot of the fans were saying, why are you bothering about releasing shirts when you should improve performances on the pitch? It's fair comment, I would say. Now, historically, they've never won the top division, but they have won, I think, a couple of Coupe de France's. So, you know, they've got some trophies in their history. Their main rivals are Nancy and Strasbourg, which are two clubs that I don't have shirts for. Especially Strasbourg with the Chelsea connection. I definitely need to pick those up. And Nancy, they usually do some pretty smart shirts. So it'd be nice to have all three of those at some point. When it comes to obviously the manufacturing, we know it's Kappa. It's got this interesting sort of cross stitch almost going across there. So when it comes to the shirt and the design, it's designed by local artist Paolo Di Vecchio, which is what it says on the back of the neck. Now, what he was doing for the season last season is every time there was a home match, he'd design a new home shirt for the club. Not that they'd wear it, but he'd create one. Obviously, he's an artist. I don't know if he made one physically or if it was just a digital one. But clearly the club got wind of this, and at some point they've gone, well, why don't you actually do as a shirt? And that's what he decided to do. Of course, with him being an artist, the style of the shirt is to look like a first draft. So, you know, when someone's sketching out something and you've got like lines and it's, you know, especially with the text there, it's like a little bit rough. That's what it's meant to be. I think that's a cool sort of idea. It's definitely artistic, and you're just going to see that a lot. You're going to see a lot of stuff with that with football teams and artists and fashion. That seems to be the sort of the key thing right now. I think that's a great thing. I love it. So it was worn in a game, as it mentions on the pamphlet there, against Lyon. They did lose 2-1, which is probably not unsurprising for a team that got relegated. But it was still nice to have them wear the shirt, and that's yeah. I think they also then auctioned off some of the shirts, so you could actually get the player issue version. Also, of course, it comes in the box. Now it comes in the box, which is a wooden box. It's not. I don't necessarily think it's 149 euros worth of box because it's a bit fragile, the box itself, but it's meant to replicate how art is transferred. So obviously I know a lot of you guys will be buying high-end artwork, and when they do that, they send them in crates, in pallets. So that's the idea behind it. If you put this shirt in there, it's almost like it's a piece of artwork. Now the club are still with Kappa, as I suggested in the previous video. Obviously their third shirt is that beautiful pink one, and if I didn't pick this up, I would have picked up the pink one for sure, but even their home and away shirts are pretty smart also. And that's kind of it. So it's joint my most expensive. This one actually comes with the box though, because the other expensive one was the AS Monaco, which is not too dissimilar in colour, and it's French of course as well. Oh, you know, French. But I'm pleased with it. I think it's cool. It's an interesting one. It's limited again, and yeah, whether a football shirt is truly ever worth that, probably not. But as a collector, these are the sort of things you kind of end up doing. One more shirt left. I have a couple that are arriving at some point, but they're in a land far away, and I don't know when they're going to come to me. So I think I'll have to start picking up some cheaper ones. I'm being quite prudent this year with my spending. Last year I went a bit crazy. This year I think I might just start picking up a few of the cheaper ones, maybe some Thai teams or some more Turkish ones, and who knows what we'll find. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Is it interesting? Is it a shirt you even knew existed? And yeah, it feels really nice. I think I'd quite enjoy wearing this one, but at this price, not a chance. Anyway, guys, thank you as always for watching. Genuinely do appreciate it all. And I'll see you next week with something else. Goodbye.